This is Renee Romeo of reneeromeo.com. Today I have a pearl of wisdom for you regarding house maintenance. I've compiled a winter house maintenance checklist for you that you can go around your house and you can check things and make sure that they're in tip-top condition. And I'll do this seasonally, so you can check back for my spring, summer, and fall versions, and each one will address something slightly different to keep your house in tip-top condition. This checklist is downloadable, so you can go ahead, download it, print it out, and then follow along with me as I go around the house, and I'm sure Finny will be with us too. So go to the website, click on the link, and you can print this out and follow along with me as I go around my home, making sure that I've completed all the tasks on the list. So it's the beginning of the year, and I'm going to go ahead and change out my smoke detector battery because that's one of the most important things you can do once a year, and this is the time of year that I always address that issue. So I have a fresh 9-volt battery. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the unit, close it back up. Now, smoke detectors only last 10 years. So if your smoke detector is more than 10 years old, you need to run out and replace every single one of them in your home with a brand new unit. Once you get your brand new unit, write a date on the side of it, very, very small so people can't see, of the date that it needs to be changed 10 years later. Mine is 6 years old, so I'm going to be writing 2022 on the side. No one's going to see that but me. It's very small, and that way every year I come up here, I know exactly when I need to replace it, throw it in the trash, and grab a new one. If any of you have gas appliances or gas furnace, the most important thing on this list is to check your carbon monoxide detector. This is a perfect time of year to do it. You go ahead and you unplug it. Mine is a plug-in unit, and I recommend that highly because it has a battery backup as well. So you're kind of doubly covered here in case of a power outage. So I've gone ahead, I've removed the old battery, I'm going to install the new battery and then plug it back in. One of the great things about these units nowadays is that they come with a little label that tells you when this unit expires. So if you didn't know, carbon monoxide detectors expire after 7 years. They're no longer able to detect carbon monoxide after that time. And this is near and dear to my heart. We had a carbon monoxide scare in our house. The levels got very dangerous, and the reason why is because we didn't know and we didn't label our carbon monoxide detector to tell us to replace it after 7 years. So this is an FYI for you, and if you ever smell a hint of natural gas anywhere in your home, really call the gas company, your local gas company, get them to come out. They've got meters for this. They're very professional, and they won't mind doing it because that's their job. The next thing I'm going to do is replace the furnace filters. Now, typically they say once every 2 months, but I always forget, so I always keep this on my house maintenance list to make sure that I do this at least quarterly throughout the year. So this is something that you can do quarterly as well if you don't have a lot of pets or you don't have a lot of kids that go in and out, or if you don't have allergies. But other than that, if you want to do it more frequently, go ahead and do it more frequently. Before I get ready to put the new filter in, there's an arrow here indicating the direction of the airflow. Now the airflow goes from the duct that comes down and goes into the furnace. That's how it gets cycled through the unit. So the airflow needs to be going toward the furnace, and that's what the point of the arrow needs to be pointed toward the furnace. So mine is in the right direction. I'm just simply going to slide that back in place. And now we're just going to lift up our floor registers and vacuum the ductwork underneath it to make sure they're nice and clear. On the wall next to me is a cold air return. Now this is the part of your heating system that pulls air in from your house and circulates it through the furnace system. So you really need to make sure that these are kept nice and clear. And I'm doing this with a vacuum cleaner, and I'm just going to go ahead, turn it on, and make sure it's nice and clean. Now each and every room in your home should have one of these, so make sure you check each and every space. Now I'm in the laundry room and I'm pulling out the screen from my dryer. Now normally you clean that out on a daily basis, but I have a crevice attachment attached to my vacuum cleaner, and I'm going to put it down into this area because there's a lot of lint in here that falls beyond that little screen that needs to come out. Now this kind of maintenance can really prevent a fire. There are a lot of different refrigerators on the market today, so I'm giving you a best practices version of how to clean underneath your unit. So most of the time you have a grate like this underneath your refrigerator, and you're just going to lift up and out in order to gain access. So once you have access to the bottom, you can put a long attachment on your vacuum cleaner and go ahead and clean all that out and get all the dust out from underneath. Sometimes, however, you have a grate on the top. Now those operate similarly. You might need to get a screwdriver out in order to gain access, but once that grate is off, you can go ahead and vacuum all around the compressor and all those important components that will keep your refrigerator running like new. If you need to clean your drip pan, go ahead and pull the unit away from the wall. Sometimes it's easier to have access that way from the back of the unit in order to get to your drip pan. Then you can easily pull it out, put it in the sink, wash it with warm soapy water, and then replace it. Now that mine is clean underneath, I can go ahead and vacuum the front grate and I'll be all set. I also oil all the door hinges in the house, and I do this because if you've ever been woken up overnight by a squeaky door hinge, you'll know how important this is. So I have a product called WD-40. It's an oil, and it's made really especially for this. It's really great because it's got a little wand here, and all you're going to do is you're going to place it at the top of that hinge, and you're going to take a paper towel and protect any overspray from going on the walls around it, and you're just going to go ahead and squeeze the trigger. Wipe it off, and then open the door just a few times to get that to go right down into that little track for the hinge, and it'll really work out well. Your cabinetry takes an awful lot of wear and tear over the course of a year. So this is a perfect time to check all of your hardware, make sure it's nice and tight and attached to the cabinet properly. So you'll see I have a regular screwdriver here. I'm not using any power tools. Please don't use power tools for this. It's very delicate, nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the kitchen, the bathrooms, the garage, anywhere I have cabinetry, and make sure all of my hardware is on properly. This is the perfect time of year to go around your house and make sure that all your window latches are nice and tight. Not only that they're shut all the way, but the latch itself is actually tight to the window. So I have a Phillips head screwdriver, a small one, and it needs to not be a power driver. Please don't do this with a power driver because it's a little too powerful for this delicate little mechanism. So you're just going to make sure that all of these little Phillips head screws are nice and tight to the frame. Mine are a little bit loose. And you know what else? Someone always inadvertently opens a window during the winter just to get a little fresh air in and forgets to latch it all the way. So we want this to be nice and energy conscious and make sure that all of these are nice and tight. So I also take the opportunity to tighten down any doorknobs in the house. And this one is really straightforward. So this is just done with a Phillips head screwdriver. So please click on the link, download this list, carry it around with you as you go around all of the little projects around your home, making sure that you accomplish each and every one too. So this is Renee Romeo of reneeromeo.com. Thank you so much for watching this Pearl of Wisdom, and I'll bring you another great one in the future.